Welcome back, Scouts, for Activity 28, Geological Earth Science. Hemp Hill, Camino Real, Blanco Vista Elementary, and all others are welcome.
For more fun activities at home, visit our YouTube channel, Sacred Springs Scout Reach. Please join me in the Scout Oath. On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country and to obey the Scout law, to help other people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight.
Please join me in the Scout law. A Scout is trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
Show the Cub Scout sign. Tell what it means. Make the sign with your right hand. Hold your arm straight up. The two raised fingers stand for the Scout Oath and the Scout Law. The fingers look like the sharp ears of the wolf, ready to listen to a Kayla. Remember that a Kayla means good leader to a Cub Scout. Your mother or father or guardian is a Kayla. So is your Cub Master or your den leader. At school, your teacher is a Kayla.
Say the Cub Scout motto. Tell what it means. The Cub Scout motto is do your best. A motto is a guiding principle and a rule for living. Do your best means trying your hardest, not just a little bit. Do your best all the time. Do your best in school and at home. Do your best when you play a game and help your team. Do your best as you work on your rank adventures.
Requirement 1A. Explain the meaning of the word geology. Requirement 1B. Explain why this kind of science is an important part of your world. Requirement 1C. Share with your family or den what you learned about the meaning of geology. Geology is the study of the earth, including the materials it is made of, the structure of those materials, and the processes that act on them. An important part of geology is studying how the earth changes over time. While the earth might not seem to change much, it is actually always changing. Wind and rain wear down mountains, earthquakes shake the ground, and volcanoes spew melted rock into the air. Even the continents are moving. North America is actually moving to the west-southwest about an inch a year. A geologist is a scientist who studies the earth. Some geologists study how the earth was formed and how it changes. Other geologists study earthquakes and volcanoes and try to reduce the damage they cause by learning how to predict them. Still others work to improve our lives by using rocks and minerals to supply many of the things we use every day. Petroleum geologists study the earth's natural resources of oil and gas. Engineering geologists and structure geologists work on building projects. Hydrogeologists work with our water resources. Environmental geologists study the effects we humans have on our planet Earth. What type of geologist would you like to be?
The weathering and erosion of rocks. Weathering is what happens when rocks and minerals break apart because of water, ice, wind, heat, or cold. Erosion is what happens when the pieces caused by weathering are carried away. Weathering and erosion are important parts of geology. Ice erosion. Ice is another strong force that causes large amounts of physical erosion. In mountainous locations in the world, the rock and soil are commonly frozen together. Ice grows in the cracks of the rocks and pushes the rock particles apart. When the water melts and freezes again, it moves the particles away from each other, and the process repeats itself. When water flows down a hillside, it can cause erosion similar to wrinkles in the soil. Glaciers, which are huge pieces of ice, move slowly down a mountain with the force of gravity. The weight of the glacier presses into the ground, forcing it apart and separating rocks. During the movement of glaciers, some of the ice also melts and refreezes as it moves, continuing to pick up rock pieces, dragging them across other rocks in the glacier's path, and breaking them into even smaller pieces. Wind erosion. The movement of the wind erodes and creates different landforms. Wind is an invisible force that includes small pieces of rocks and minerals. This kind of erosion is not very strong because it takes a lot of energy to transport sand and dust. This type of erosion is known for smoothing the earth around us. Every time there is wind, the erosion impact can break off smaller pieces of larger rock. Sometimes the little rock pieces break into even smaller pieces. These smaller pieces can stay where the wind carries them until water washes them to another location, waiting for wind erosion to carry them away again.
Water erosion. Have you ever noticed that rocks in riverbeds and on lake and ocean shores are small and smooth? That's because of water erosion. Water causes a great deal of physical erosion. When rain falls heavily, flooding can happen, changing everything that the fast-moving waters carry with it. Rushing water can also cause mudslides. The force of the rushing water causes sharp edges of rocks to knock loose, which creates smoothness. Water erosion has caused geological landforms such as canyons and rivers. The Grand Canyon, which is a mile deep and 277 miles long, was formed by water erosion. Fossils. You may find fossils while you're looking for rock specimens. A fossil is a trace of animal or plant life from millions of years ago that has hardened in rock. A fossil may be a print of a shell or the skeleton of a fish or bird. It may be a dinosaur's track or a leaf or flower print. Would you believe that fossils from the sea can be found in a desert? It's true. That means that the spot where they were found was once an ocean floor. Certain plants and animals live in hot climates, but their fossils have been found in cold countries. That means that these areas were not always cold. Wind and water erosion have changed the Earth's landscape and helped to move fossils and other geological items over time. Fossils have even been discovered on top of mountains. Sedimentary rock usually contains fossils. Geologists study the rock layer in which the fossils were found. Then they can tell when the country was warm and for how long. Fossils show us what plants and trees lived millions of years ago and where. They show the changes that have happened through the years. You probably can find fossils in your own neighborhood. Look in diggings, road cuts, or stream banks, wherever cuts have been made through layers of sedimentary rock.
Requirement 4A. With your family or den, make a mineral test kit and test rocks according to the Mohs scale of mineral hardness. Requirement 4B. Record the results in your handbook. A long time ago, a geologist named Friedrich Mohs figured out that you can test the hardness of rocks and minerals by seeing whether they scratch other materials or whether other materials can scratch them. He created a scale that gives different rocks and minerals hardness values from 1 to 10. Mohs hardness scale. 1. Talc, scratches easily with fingernail. 2. Gypsum, barely scratches with fingernail. 3. Calcite, barely scratches with copper penny. 4. Fluorite, scratches easily with a file or knife blade. 5. Apatite, barely scratches with file or knife blade. 6. Feldspar doesn't scratch with file or knife blade, scratches easily with glass. 7. Quartz easily marks steel and hard glass. 8. Topaz is harder than common minerals. 9. Corundum scratches topaz. 10. Diamond scratches corundum, hardest mineral.
Many experienced rock collectors carry a mineral testing kit on their rock hunting trip to test hardness and other mineral characteristics. Knowing the hardness of a mineral will not always tell you its identity, but it will help rule out some possibilities. You can buy a mineral testing kit, but it's more fun to make one yourself using materials you can find around the house or buy cheaply. Here's what you need: penny, small piece of glass, pieces of unglazed tile, file or pocket knife, small bottle of vinegar, eyedropper, rocks.
Here's how to use your kit. Step 1. Scratch the tile with your rock to determine the streak of the mineral. The streak is the color of the resulting powder. It's usually a more consistent color than the apparent color of the mineral. You can refer to a mineral identification chart to find out what minerals have this streak. Step 2. Use the eyedropper to put a drop of vinegar on the mineral. If vinegar fizzes, that means the mineral contains calcium carbonate. Step 3. Test the hardness of the mineral by trying to scratch it in order with your fingernail, the penny, the file, or knife. Then try to scratch the file or knife and the glass with the mineral. Refer to the chart to determine the mineral's hardness. For example, if you can scratch the mineral with your fingernail, it measures 1 or 2 on the scale. If the mineral can scratch the file or knife, it measures at least a 7 on the scale. This illustration shows the hardness tests. The mineral is on mineral, fingernail, penny, knife, file, glass. The streak test for color. Labeling. The chart below gives you a way to indicate all of these items: the rock and the mineral types, the description, the scratch test, and the scale number.
Requirement 5. With your family or den, identify on a road map of your state some geological features in your area. Geological features are all around us. Mountains, plains, lakes, rivers, swamps, and caves are just some of the natural features that may be found near where you live. And there may be man-made features like dams, quarries, mines, canals, and channelized streams. Mark some of those features on a map of your area. Try to imagine what forces created them. Imagine going back in time to see how those features were created. While you're exploring the past, see if you can discover how your area has changed over thousands or even millions of years. A good place to start is a local science or natural history museum. You may discover things like this. During the Devonian period, 408 million to 360 million years ago, a shallow sea covered much of eastern North America, from New York through Kentucky to Texas. The Colorado River has been forming the Grand Canyon for the past 17 million years. During the Wisconsin glacial episode, 85,000 to 11,000 years ago, glaciers covered Canada, New England, the upper Midwest, and parts of Idaho, Montana, and Washington. In the 20th century, the U.S. government built dams on many rivers to control flooding. and generate hydroelectric power. One of the most famous, the Hoover Dam, impounds Lake Mead in Nevada and Arizona.
Requirement 6A. Identify some of the geological building materials used in building your home. Requirement 6B. Identify some of the geological materials used around your community. And requirement 6C. Record the items you find. Although your home may be made mostly of wood products, plenty of geological building materials went into it as well. The chart shows some common geological materials used in construction. Can you add others? The Lincoln Memorial is made of marble. Geological materials in construction. Ore: hematite, limonite, magnetite, metal iron, and it can be used for beams, girders, posts, nails, machines, screws. Or azurite, malachite, chalcocite, copper. They can be used for electric, wiring, gutters, roofing, and pipes. Valerite, zinc, can be used for galvanized pipe, sheet metal. Bauxite, aluminum, is used in siding, windows, doors, roofs. Quartz and silicon is for glass. Kernite, borax, boron is also for glass. And limestone, calcium, is used in cement and building stone. Here are a few places to look for some types of rocks in the city. Granite. This strong igneous rock is used often in city buildings. Look for it on the outside of buildings. It can be gray, pink, or a deeper rose color. It has a speckled pattern. The darkest flecks are mica crystals, and the glass-like areas are quartz crystals. You can find both rough and polished granite in buildings. Sandstone. In eastern cities, many older homes called brownstones were built of brick and then covered with brown sandstone blocks. Slate. This metamorphic rock, changed by heat and pressure, was once clay. It can be split into slabs. You might find an old sidewalk made of gray slate. Chalkboards in schools used to be made of smooth black slate. Some roofs are made of slate. The Washington National Cathedral is made of limestone. Marble. Look for marble in the lobbies of office buildings and banks. A streaky, swirling pattern of mixed color and a smooth, shiny surface will be the main clues. Marble comes in many different colors. The main color might be black, gray, green, pink, or white. You can find marble in museums and parks too. Pure white marble is often used for sculptures, statues, and monuments.
Requirement 7. Do either 7A or 7B. Requirement 7A. Go on an outing with your family or den to one of the nearby locations you discovered on your state map, and record what you see as you look at geographical surroundings. Share with your family or den, while on this outing, what you notice that might change this location in the future. Wind, water, ice, drought, erosion. Requirement 7B. Do the following. With your family or den, visit with a geologist or earth scientist and discover the many career fields that are included in science of geology. Ask the geologist or earth scientist about the importance of fossils that are found. Ask the geologist or earth scientist what you can do to help preserve our natural resources. Taking a geological field trip. Natural forces like wind, water, and earthquakes help create geological features you see around where you live. And those and other forces continue to change the environment. Visit one of the locations you discovered in Requirement 5. Try to imagine how the location could change in the future and what forces might cause those changes. Tell your family or den what you discovered.
Weeblo's Handbook, Requirement 7. My State. Geological features found in my state. I visited. Geological forces that may change this location in the future. Visiting with a geologist. One of the best ways to learn about geology is to meet with a geologist. At your meeting, ask questions like these. What field of geology do you work in? What other kinds of geologists do you work with? What education is required to be a geologist? How can Weeblo Scouts help preserve our natural resources?
Natural Bridge Caverns. The Natural Bridge Caverns are the largest known commercial caverns in the U.S. state of Texas. The name was derived from the 60-foot natural limestone slab bridge that spans the amphitheater setting of the cavern's entrance. The span was left suspended when a sinkhole collapsed below it. The caverns are located near the city of San Antonio, Texas, in the Texas Hill Country, next to the Natural Bridge Wildlife Ranch, a drive-through wildlife safari park. The address is 26495 Natural Bridge Caverns Road, San Antonio, Texas, 78266, United States. The website is naturalbridgecaverns.com.
Welcome to Natural Bridge Caverns, Texas, a premier natural attraction where you'll find adventure and fun around every bend. Like on the Discovery Tour, where you'll see massive, otherworldly formations formed by single drops of water and the slow passage of time. Or explore our Hidden Passages Tour, where shadows dance over delicate formations and mystery awaits in every shadow. Take to the skies high above Texas. Or if you're looking for a true test, try tackling one of our adventure tours. And if you want some good old-fashioned fun for the whole family, look no further than the Mining Company and Rock Shop. There's more to explore than ever before, right now at Natural Bridge Caverns.
Ever explore an earthquake from deep inside the earth? Let us lead you into the Balcones Fault Line Cave, the only real earthquake cave open for viewing and an eye-opener to Mother Nature's devastating raw forces. Our guides are trained to reveal stories of past geological eras of the Earth's history and this awe-inspiring tour. Fossilized prehistoric life encased in the many strata formations and huge boulders suspended mid-air are just part of the spectacular and rare sights the cave offers. Wonder Cave is uniquely different from other show caves and is both fun and educational for all ages. Established in 1903, we are the first commercial show cave to open for public viewing in Texas. Wonder World Park Cave and attractions can be enjoyed year-round without being affected by weather conditions. Book online or call us to make a reservation for cave-only tours. 512-392-3760. It is located at 1000 Prospect Street in San Marcos, Texas.
Inner Space Cavern, 4200 South I-35 Frontage Road, Georgetown, Texas, 78626. Phone number 512-931-2283. InnerSpaceCavern.com.
Samples, Del Rio, Texas. Can you find these 16 hidden pictures? You can pause the video while you look for them. Join us next time for Activity 29, Journey for Scout. If you are interested in joining a pack near you, visit beascout.scouting.org.